Even with a true once-in-a-lifetime prospect like Victor Wembanyama up for grabs, there was no way the Orlando Magic were going to get away with blatantly tanking like they did in the 21-22 season. The addition of Paolo Banchero, the steep progression of Franz Wagner, and the returns of Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac were just all going to equate to too many wins. As much as landing Wemby or Scoot would be ideal to cap off a dream rebuild, the Magic really don't need to add another top prospect who would need to be the first option in order to become a star. It would just be a luxury at that point. The Magic already have 2 franchise players that will carry the offensive load for the next decade or so. Therefore, landing a pick in the 6 to 8 range would not be as depressing of an outcome like it was in the past. The Magic are currently slated to be picking 6th in the draft, but actually have a better chance of obtaining a top 4 pick than staying at 6. They have a higher chance of either moving up or dropping to 7th or 8th. Since the NBA changed its lottery system 4 years ago, teams with the 6th best odds to win have dropped to either 7th or 8th, so therefore I'll concentrate on prospects around the 7th to 9th range until the draft lottery. The good news for Magic fans is that there's going to be a handful of prospects around this range that will both fill a need and also give them a prospect with star potential. To be more specific, the Magic could use a versatile athletic wing who can score off the ball to fill out the future starting 5. Prospects in this year's draft in 7 to 9 range who could fit that bill are Jarris Walker, who I think could be gone by the 5th pick, but I'm still going to include him, Cam Whitmore, Taylor Hendricks, and Grady Dick. But one prospect I feel the Magic front office could be tempted to take the most with the 7th pick is Ausar Thompson, who is an uber athletic 6'7" wing with the potential of being a high IQ jumbo facilitator in the mold of a prime Andre Iguodala, or like a poor man's Scottie Pippen, which is still an all-star type player, a Raptors version of T-Mac, a Warriors version of Andrew Wiggins with better playmaking. All of those archetypes are the perfect wing complement to Franz and Paolo. Ausar and his twin brother Amin are 2 of the most fascinating prospects to enter the draft in years. They both skipped their senior year of high school and then college to play in Overtime Elite, a fairly new professional league comprised of 4 and 5-star high school prospects. Now, before I break down Ausar's game and his potential fit with the Magic, I have to point out that it's very tough to seriously evaluate anyone as an NBA prospect playing in the Overtime Elite League, especially the Thompson twins, who were usually 2 or 3 years older than most of their competition. You have to view OTE as a high school all-stars league. The competition level is above high school competition, but way below NCAA level. For instance, just look at the free lane that Ausar had at times, straight to the basket. Horrible transition defending, if you can even call it that. The talent level was unfairly dispersed throughout that league. Having said all that, you should expect a 5-star prospect to stand out and dominate in an inferior league, and that's exactly what Ausar did. Ausar so far has excelled against any competition in front of him, and that should count for something. Last season, he averaged 21, 9, and 8 per 36 with a true shooting percentage of 55%. As a prospect, you have to look at Ausar similar to Shaedon Sharpe last year. It's through the eye test and just analyze if the things he does well on the floor could translate over to the pro level. And based off Ausar's game film, I think it will. Ausar did what was expected of him. He dominated his competition, winning back-to-back finals MVP, even hitting the game-winning 3 in a title-deciding game to boot. The intrigue of Ausar as a prospect is that he can contribute right away with his defense and playmaking while also having star potential. The swing factor that could determine if he reaches his potential is his jump shot, but for now, Thompson is a big playmaking wing with above average handles for his size. He already has great defensive feel with the potential of being a lockdown defender that can defend multiple positions, a glaring need in the Magic starting lineup. He has outlier athleticism. It looks like he glides across the floor so swiftly and has insane bounce to go along with his shiftiness. But more importantly for the Magic, Ausar is a great cutter, attacks closeouts with force, quick decision maker, and has a high basketball IQ for his age. Ausar is capable of making split-second decisions with or without the ball, an important skill in the modern NBA. He's also further along than his brother when it comes to shooting. The progress that he's made since his first season in the OTE is a testament to his work ethic and determination, and you can foresee him eventually becoming an efficient knockdown 3-point shooter in the near future. Ausar, by all accounts, is of high character and is very coachable, traits that the Magic front office have looked for in recent years in their draft evaluation. But being a hard worker and having high character is good and all, but I'm sure you guys want to know more about his game. So why don't I just get straight into breaking down his strengths. And I have to start off first with his defense. He has all the tools of being a lockdown defender with a combination of his length, speed, high motor, and advanced defensive instincts. Ausar's processing speed on defense is outstanding. He makes smart defensive reads, like rotating just in time for contests, good positioning on switches, reading passing lane for steals. Let me outline his defensive versatility. Ausar can be used as a main point of attack defender, swiping for steals from the top of the key and generating easy transition buckets. He can guard bigger players on post-ups and can protect the rim with his hops and length as a small ball 5. He can be used as a roamer as well with the amount of ground he can cover in limited time. He also shifts his feet well laterally when guarding smaller, quicker players. His biggest area of improvement on defense is similar to many young players. He gambles for steals far too often and falls for pump fakes too easily, but those can be ironed out with good coaching. Moving along, Ausar can also be used as a jumbo playmaking wing. He's adept at making smart connective passes, a skill set that will fit in beautifully with Paulo and Franz. He can dish out skip passes from one end to the other, dump offs off of short rolls, making that simple extra pass to an open shooter and finding open teammates in transition. He's shown flashes of being able to do more, such as creating off the dribble. He received more pick and roll reps towards the end of his second OTE season and showed improvement. Due to his handles and court vision, Ausar is capable of making flashy passes out of nothing. He can hit rollers or lob threats out of pick and roll actions and pinpoint pocket passes off of drives. Again, we don't need him to be a primary facilitator, but it's up to him if he wants to be. We can give him ample time to develop his playmaking, but in his first 2 seasons, being a connective playmaker is all that should be asked of him to do. Alright, next up is his scoring and potential as a ISO shot creator. Ausar's offensive skill set is still developing. In his first few seasons, he'll generate his offense through attacking closeouts, cuts, lobs, easy buckets in transition, and spot up threes, which are all just fine for the Magic. However, he has shown glimpses of shot creation ability. He has a very smooth and refined offensive game already. He can get to his spots on the court through herky-jerky moves, can step back with ease, pull up from the mid-range, shoot floaters, even mini running hooks like Cole Anthony, skillful footwork around the basket or when posting up. And again, I have to reiterate that he's doing this against high school competition, and it might take him a few years before he does this in the NBA. What surprised me the most about his game when going over his film is his finishing around the rim. He's a very crafty finisher and has elite body control at the rim. Thompson has good handles for his size, as I mentioned earlier, and it's why I'm confident he'll eventually expand his offensive arsenal. He already has some decent off-the-dribble moves like the behind-the-back dribble into a mid-range, in and out crossovers, this nice little Smitty move to shake his defender, gather steps, and of course a basic 1 or 2 dribble pull-up. He doesn't look awkward or rigid when attempting any of these moves. And don't worry, some of these shots will start to fall in time, but the main thing is that he can create space at least. He has shown enough flashes of self-creation. You just need to bet on his work ethic, and he'll eventually tie it all together and become an 18 to 20 points per game scoring wing and a great third option on a contender. Now, how will he fit in with the Magic? In my opinion, he'll fit in quite seamlessly. His off-ball scoring is a primary reason why. First of all, his insane bounce will make him a lob threat for all of our playmakers. You can also say that Ausar is already an excellent off-ball mover. You know, I thought Caleb Houston and even Keywan Harris did a great job getting open from their movement off the ball, but their finishing wasn't the greatest. I think Ausar can do the same, but he'll convert more often. He moves well into space for open threes and will eventually be a threat when spotting up with his improving outside shot. On the topic of his shooting, it's his biggest swing skill and an area of improvement. His form can still be tweaked. At a glance, it looks like Draymond Green's form a bit, but I'm definitely buying into him developing a consistent outside shot. And here's why. Ausar's already shown the ability to improve in a short time. It looked like he was a lost cause when he was in high school, but he's now improved to a respectable 30% shooter on 4 attempts. In 3 OTE finals games, Ausar shot nearly 40% on 8 attempts per game, including the title-winning 3-pointer. And that's why I feel the Magic will also buy into Ausar improving his jumper. He already has a history of being able to improve his jumper, so it's not hard to foresee him developing it even more, especially with the help of professional NBA coaching and player development. To go along with his threat as an off-ball scorer, Thompson would help fill one of Orlando's biggest needs, a wing or starting shooting guard who can provide rim pressure in order to collapse defenses for easier shots. Ausar doesn't have the blazing first step of Amin, but Amin is just an outlier. He'll walk into the league with a top 5 first step, but Ausar's first step is still quick enough. He'll be able to dish out dump offs to Wendell or Paulo or kick out to open shooters, and it'll help open up the usually stagnant offense of the Magic. To round off, the Orlando Magic will most likely have 2 picks in the lottery this year. They have the luxury to make one home run pick with one of their picks and use the other to fill a need, preferably shooting. Of course, getting Wemby or Scoot will be the dream scenario, but leaving the draft with a high ceiling, high floor type wing prospect like Ausar Thompson with one of Grady Dick, Kobe Buffkin, Jordan Hawkins, Bryce Sensabaugh, or Jet Howard would almost be just as perfect. Ausar can contribute right from day one with his off-ball movements, connective playmaking, and on the other end with his point of attack defense and switchability. The Magic can afford to wait on his shooting development. He won't be drafted to be the first option or second option here. We probably won't have a pick in the lottery again for the foreseeable future, so it's the last chance to make one last home run type of a pick, and if it hits, it could really catapult the Magic into contenders for the next decade. Well, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If this video brought some value to you, then please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Plus it'll help motivate me to put out more draft prospect videos for you guys. Thanks for watching, and as I said last year at the same time, let's go get the #1 pick, damn it.